Thank you. Do you ever feel like your life is like Indiana Jones? You're chasing the map of your law firm, or maybe trying to connect the dots of your existence, just going like a mad rush from one adventure to the other? Well, let me take you through my journey in 2017, the best thing that I did for my law firm, which is learn how to use a clicker. Press play. I'm pressing play. Oh, it worked. Okay. So what do we do? What did I press? Something. Our law firm provides legal strategies and solutions to businesses that accelerate health and wellness. This is everything from physicians to telemedicine companies, mobile medical apps, people with medical devices, dietary supplements, cosmetic, everything in the 3.6 and rising $1 trillion health and wellness industry. How did I get here? Well, I grew up around medicine. My mom, who's watching right now, she's a physician, and she used to take me on rounds when I was a child. Now, I actually fainted during one of these rounds, so I knew that I wouldn't become a doctor. They actually brought orange juice to revive me. But she wrote a number of books, and full of great medical and scientific information, and I went to Hebrew school, where I learned about the law, the Jewish law. So it was natural that later in life I would go to law school, and there I am carrying the weight of the law. Now, I hope nobody's having like a flashback to civil procedure or torts or crim law. After law school, I went to work for a judge, and then I became a Wall Street corporate lawyer. And then I did what any good, burnt-out Wall Street corporate lawyer does. I went to India to meditate. And I met this Swami in a cave, and basically I got very, very passionate about holistic health and alternative and complementary medicine. And because of that, I started writing. I changed my career, not for the last time. I was teaching in law schools, and eventually I got recruited to a faculty position at Harvard Medical School. Now, to quote someone here, I say this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that despite the many accomplishments that I had, 3 faculty positions at Harvard, 6 books, over 100 articles, and an MBA, my knowledge of sales, marketing, how to manage a law firm, how to get a client, how to pick up the phone and even talk to a client, absolute zero. I had no idea. So after Harvard, I hung out a shingle. And life before life inside the bubble, I started doing a little better and better. My revenues were rising. I was very proud of myself. I got to about $300,000, a little less. And at that point, the revenues went flat for a couple of years. So I thought I was doing okay, but it was very, very stressful. As you know, hustle, sell, market. And then life changed. And for Evie and Alexander, I love you so much. My life took a big change. And I thought, maybe there's more life inside the bubble. Maybe there's more life inside of me. And so 1 year ago, today, I joined How to Manage a Small Law Firm. And the quest for the Holy Grail began. And so I go to a room and I see the sign. I might not have the quote exactly right, but I've got the gist of it. And I'm a lawyer. I like to interpret text. And I say to myself, what does this rule mean, right? Issue, rule, application, conclusion. What do I do with this? Then I get this other quote. It's simple. You have to start making decisions like the owner of $1 million law firm. So I heard that. My shoulders straightened. My posture got better. My chest swelled. And I started feeling and acting a little bit differently. I still had a lot to learn. So I'm looking for the Holy Grail, and I find it. It's this mantra. Hallum, hallum, hallum. Happy lawyers make more money. And because I'd gone to India, I knew that this was not only a mantra, but it also came with a yantra, a sacred mystical diagram. And this is it, the 7 parts of a law firm. Now, at the business plan workshop, I drew this on a napkin, and I showed it to one of the CEOs, and I superimposed some other lines. I said, what is this? It turns out it's also the Kabbalistic tree of life. Very close, not surprising. So I said to myself, I'm going to intervene in 2 areas because I could only tackle 1 or 2 at a time. Why? Because small hinges swing big doors. I decided to focus on sales and plant. And so I had simple but powerful hinges. Number 1, hire a dragon. Plant, write policies and procedures. And 3, leverage software. These were my interventions. Now let me tell you what didn't work. The 3 mules of the law firm apocalypse. Number 1, letting clients call me all the time on my cell phone. Number 2, taking sales calls while driving down the freeway. Mom, I'm not doing that anymore. That's why I'm here. And 3, having an ego about spinning all the plates myself. It's exhausting. Now, which historical person formulated this incredible mathematical equation? Policies plus procedures equals systems plus sanity. Pythagoras? King David? We're on the same page. And this formula saved my life. So I recruited a non-attorney salesperson, a NASP, and it was one less plate to spin. And I learned to coach my dragon to improve the conversion of potential new clients into clients. And I learned to give my dragon self-esteem. Don't take self-esteem. Don't look for it elsewhere. Find it from inside and bubble over, and then coach and give that to other people. And that opened up new capacities, new doorways inside myself. And what did work for policies and procedures? So many of them, but the 3 main ones. Attorney access, calls now are calendared. We have them on a conference line. They don't come to me personally and interrupt my day. We define A to F clients so that when we have a good day, we know that's an A client. And when someone gives us a hard time, we don't pay for an extra therapy session or get a massage right away. We just say, that's an F client. We know how to define these behaviors. And we have a very detailed systematic intake process using Lexicata. By the way, if you find that, you want to find that, I did post it on the forum. So you can go on the forum and look for my name, Michael H. Cohen, and the intake process for the members in the room, and you can find that. And I leverage software like Lexicata. We have dashboards to track every step of the process of converting a potential new client to a client. And Cosmolex, which I found much better for lawyer and law firm specific billing. And Trello, so I can transmit the tasks to my attorneys and staff. So little hinges with a mystical diagram of how to manage a small law firm have opened big doors for me. So my advice would be, number 1, pick 1 or 2 areas to work on. Don't try to work on all 7. Just pick 1 or 2 every quarter. And while you're doing it, have the mindset of an owner so you can free yourself from all the heavy lifting and build systems using how to manage resources. What's next for me is marketing, whole topic in itself. But the steps are very simple, and we got a blueprint at the last live quarterly meeting, so let's use it. My factory. A week ago, I hired a senior legal counsel, someone with 20 years experience, and I used this quiz or questionnaire. And it was a beautiful instrument. Of course, I refined it, but this quiz came down to me. It was given to Moses at Sinai. Moses used it to find Joshua. Joshua used it to find his 40 elders. And one of them gave it to his son, and his son gave it to Henry Harlow, and Henry Harlow gave it to Arjan, and Arjan gave it to Kristen, and Kristen gave it to Terry Fogarty, and Terry Fogarty gave it to me. So this is a great tool. And this is how I sifted through all those resumes without getting on the phone, and I found this one really terrific person. And I knew she was right. Talking to her just validated that, and she's with me now. For members, I have the external policies on my website. You can go to your phone anytime, michaelhcohen.com/HTM. And I've got my external policies with the A to F clients and much more. The questionnaire that I've tailored for screening candidates, and this deck. Total revenues, as I mentioned, 48% growth. It astounded me. Thank you. And I'm a different person than the one that walked in here a year ago. Disclaimer, results not typical of lawyers who whine, but we know that. This was my firm a year ago. Notice there's a theme here. This is my law firm today, and I'm a part of it, but not the whole thing, not shouldering it all. But the most important result is what this has done for my family and for me. I found the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is freeing ourselves from the drudgery and the intensity and from shouldering all the burdens, building our A-team, and finding that fluid space where we can grow into our highest potential and give everything that those we love deserve. Thank you.